Good morning, Digit fam. Adam Dowd here, and fun fact, Tristan on the newsletter team is currently performing double duty. Not only is he manning the helm of the SS newsletter, but he's also putting in about 20,000 steps a day at IFA in his hometown of Berlin. So let's all pour one out for our poor, tired boy Tristan, and for me when I do the same at CES in January. Makes me tired just thinking about it, but for now, it is September 3rd, 2019, and this is your Digit Daily. Android 10 is officially out and in the world. Pixel owners started getting the update around noon yesterday, and boy oh boy was Twitter full of screenshots of the update page. The update came out for Google Pixel phones first, plus the Essential phone, which you may not be familiar with since they haven't produced nor sold a phone since this podcast started. I honestly have to hand it to Essential. Despite having only sold several thousand phones, man, their software updates have been top-notch. Heck, there was one update, the exact one escapes me, but basically Essential got it before the Pixel did. Anyway, good on ya, Essential. Android 10 brings a whole bag full of goodies, and if you want to get the whole story, you can check out the Android Authority podcast where we talked all about it, link in the show notes. Some of the notable improvements coming to the operating system: foldable and 5G support improvements, obviously. Smart replies and notifications, so when your mom texts and asks you to bring the kids over, it will suggest replies like, sure, what time, or how about this weekend, or I'm having cheese for lunch because the algorithm isn't quite done yet. Also coming is a dark theme, which is great for AMOLED screens and vampires. There's also a new gesture navigation system. New if you've never used an iPhone before, that is. Anyway, there's a ton of stuff going on here, but my two favorites are live captions and a new privacy setting. Live caption is exactly what it sounds like. It displays text on your screen from any file with audio. YouTube, movies, podcasts, video games, everything. All of your content gets captioning. The obvious advantage here is for the hearing impaired, but there are so many other ways that this can be great. Watching movies at night, trying to play a game when there's noise all around you, the possibilities are far-reaching, and it's awesome that Google took the time to build this feature. As for the privacy setting, this is my personal favorite. Starting in Android 10, you will be able to grant permission for apps to access certain features like camera, microphone, location data, only when the app is running, meaning if the app is in the background, that permission will get turned off. Can anyone guess why this privacy setting might be a personal favorite of mine? Anyone? Anyone? Gas Buddy? Anyone? That's right, Gas Buddy. You can suck a huge one, because the very second I get Android 10 on my phone, that is getting turned on. No more data for you, you suck faces. But anyway, Android 10 will roll out, slowly if history is any indication, but Android Authority has an update tracker that is constantly updated, so if you want to know when you'll get it, head on over. But the good news is, you don't have to wait for the Roundup! On the day after Samsung announced a standalone 5G smartphone, Samsung announced a new Exynos processor designed to integrate 5G. And strangely enough, those announcements did not come in the reverse order that they were intended. The Exynos 980 processor is intended for mid-range phones, which means that 5G may be coming to mid-range phones sooner than we thought. 5G's for the commoners! So here's a fun fact. Remember the other day when we talked about all those iOS exploits that were targeting users for years? Well, it turns out that iOS ZeroDay exploits are so common that bounties for ZeroDay Android exploits are now paid a higher bounty than for iOS. Ars Technica reports that Zerodium, a ZeroDay exploit broker, is now paying up to $2.5 million for Android exploits and only $2 million for iOS. The reason? Android security is much improved over its last several versions, while at the same time, there are so many iOS exploits coming in that they actually have to turn some of them down. The main offenders in iOS? Safari and iMessage. So suck it, all you blue bubbles. Deepfakes. You may have seen the disturbing video of Jim Carrey's face on the body of a woman on a talk show. If not, it's okay. Don't. Just don't. Anyway, deepfakes can also come in the form of a voice, as one energy company learned. A scammer called in with a deepfaked voice of the company's CEO asking for 220,000 euros to be transferred to a third party. The employee recognized the CEO's voice and complied. A second call informed the employee that the money had been reimbursed. Spoiler alert, it hadn't. And when a third call came in asking for another payment, the employee finally got suspicious. Dude, you are so fired. Break out the tinfoil hats, folks. I got a good one for you. Whole Foods is reportedly testing a new payment method to be deployed in 2020. Users can scan their hands to pay for goods and services. Further, the hand scanning isn't like a fingerprint scan. It's a general shape and size of the hand. The scanners are accurate to 1/10,000th of 1%, but developers are really crunching it to get it down to 1/1,000,000th of 1% before the system rolls out. So, the next time you wave to a friend from across the room, be careful, you may also be buying their coffee. Twitter user Elizabeth Joe tweeted, "Who knew that convenience was the short road to dystopia?" Well, everyone, Elizabeth. And finally, Reddit asked the question, what doesn't make sense about the Harry Potter universe? And let me tell you what doesn't make sense about the Harry Potter universe. Why does each book get progressively longer? Why do none of the first years know about the Sorting Hat? Not even Ron Weasley, whose siblings comprise about half the school by the time he goes. But mostly, what bugs me is, why does Lucius Malfoy have a refined British accent, while his kid speaks with a Cockney accent? You know, like, Harry Potter, now is the time for you to die. Yeah, we gonna kill you, Harry Potter! Explain that one. So that is going to do it for today's Digit Daily. If you'd like to learn more about any of these stories, check out the links in the show notes and subscribe to our daily newsletter on Digit.com. And if you like what you heard, subscribe, leave a review, and don't forget to tell your friends about DigitDailyPod.com. Once again, I'm Adam Dowd, Dead Technology on Twitter, and we'll talk again tomorrow.